Now, you all know very well that northern Saskatchewan, in all of its rugged glory, has been a center of trade, commerce, and industry longer than Canada's been a country. Almost a century before Confederation, the renowned explorer, trader, and mapmaker Peter Pond was doing business with First Nations in this area. That is, when he wasn't busy discovering the oil sands. And of course, he was far from the first to see the bounty amid the beauty of this part of the country. There is a tradition of enterprise and exploration with deep roots here. This is, of course, the wider story of the West, just as it is the wider story of Canada. And from hunting and trapping in Peter Pond's day to tourism, sport fishing, and mining today, from the abundance of the land to the riches beneath our feet, the prosperity of this region and its people has always been linked to the wealth of its natural resources. Today, throughout Saskatchewan, there is really much to celebrate. I just continually marvel at how much this province has changed and progressed during the course of my political career. This region already produces, at least the far portion of this region, already produces a significant amount of the world's uranium. In fact, the mines and the mines throughout this area are rich enough to provide well-paying jobs to people here for decades to come. As a result, Saskatchewan needs thousands of new skilled workers to keep pace with this boom. We've heard time and time again that a shortage of skilled workers is the #1 barrier to growth and competitiveness for Canadian businesses, not just in Saskatchewan, but in many parts of the country. In that regard, President Greshner and your team here at Northlands College are doing a great job. You're preparing the people of northern Saskatchewan, including these students with us here today, to meet this challenge. Which brings us to the reason for our visit. Our government is committed to promoting the development of a skilled workforce, to helping Canadians get the training they need to benefit from the opportunities that are available to them, and to helping Canadians learn the skills they need to prosper in a rapidly changing world. So today I'm very pleased to announce that along with industry partners, we are making a substantial investment right here at Northlands College. Our funding will support the purchase of the college's new hard rock drilling simulators and the construction of a building to house that equipment. It will also be used to help create the new Northlands College Mine School. And my friends, I understand we are celebrating the launch of that new mine school today. So congratulations to the college. As you know, the mining industry provides some of the highest paying jobs in the province. In fact, almost twice the weekly average wage. And this investment will make sure that the people of northern Saskatchewan have access to the training they need to fill those jobs. It will ensure that the businesses driving this incredible success story have the access to the workers they need to keep thriving and growing here. Now, to the early explorers and traders like Peter Pond, this area was an important place, an important point on the route to prosperity. Well, it remains so for the students here today. This investment is also in keeping with our government's long-standing commitment to fostering economic development in all parts of our country, including our rural and northern areas.
The Prime Minister then took a variety of questions from the media.
So my first question is just about Bill C-33. Saskatchewan has generally been opposed. The FSIN was opposed to it at the time, and there was a meeting at the Assembly of First Nations recently where they said that they will also be opposed to Bill C-33. What's your reaction to that?
Well, the government's been very clear for some time now that we're not proceeding with that particular piece of legislation. That was a piece of legislation that we agreed to. That was an initiative we agreed to in a ceremony, a solemn ceremony with the Assembly of First Nations, drawing representatives of First Nations and others from across the country. And we agreed to proceed with reform of First Nations' school system together that would bring us standards of curriculum and accountability and board structures and other things that are common in all other school systems across the country. We agreed to do that together. When the AFN decided it would not honor its commitment to proceed, we were clear that we will not proceed without them. I do hope at some point they'll re-examine that. and decide to work with us on reforms that will help, can only but help opportunities for First Nation students across this country.
Welcome to the riding, Mr. Prime Minister. On the occasion of your first visit to this Nathaniel Mississippi Church River, I just want to go back into the not too distant past. You made an election promise to some constituents here, particularly the former students of the boarding school in Isle of Cross, Métis survivors of that institution, that they would be compensated. It has not happened yet, and we've heard various explanations as to why that is. I guess my questions, I got a couple here. First off, do you have regrets about making that promise? And secondly, is there any hope whatsoever that your government will be able to deliver on that election promise?
First of all, this is I think is my first trip as a Prime Minister to this riding. I've been in this riding as Leader of the Opposition. My first, I should say, first opportunity to be in the Air Ronge area, though. And I should just say it's a beautiful day and looks like beautiful country, and I hope I'll have the opportunity to return in the future. In terms of the promise on the Ida Lacrosse boarding school, I mean, we did look into that matter and found that the federal school at Ida Lacrosse had closed down sometime before most of the residential school system, and in fact there are no living survivors of that federal school. Now, I understand there was also a provincial school in the area. I don't know if there's any particular issue with that school, but if there is, it would obviously have to be taken up first with the provincial government.